Peace to family. We're here today to talk to you. Just hold it right like that. Yeah, so your fingers don't go over there. Okay, so I'm being filmed here. You probably could move a little more to an angle over here. So that way when I'm looking over here, it's kind of like I'm looking over there.
Got you.
But we're talking about some relationships. I taught them how to buy $1 with a few pennies. Re-releasing this April 18th. I have the day trading course. The #1 course. I kept it in the silo. We're turning up on the BP Contract Killers course, but I have a new course for day trading. Make your money every day. Stop making money week to week, making money every day. That's the talk that we on. Stop waiting for your money from 1 week to the next, every 2 weeks, month to month. Make your money every single day. This is going to be the ultimate course, and this is the book to it. So I revised it in anticipation for the new course. I taught them how to buy $1 with a few pennies. Make sure you get that I Want My Money Every Day course. That's for day trading. And this is the publication right here that's being re-released. For those of you that have it, you're going to get the revision. Anyone that bought this book, I'm giving you the revision on the strength. You don't got to buy it again. Those of you that already bought it, it's coming in the mail. We're sending them joints out. The 18th, this is coming back out, re-released. BrotherPolight.com, of course. But yeah, let's talk about this, man. My brother said he wanted to build with me in regards to relationships, and I'm here. So what you wanted to talk about, man?
Well, I just got a few questions. And I've been subscribing to monogamy.
Okay.
And I got a few questions as far as what you subscribe to and polygyny, if it's right.
Does your wife know you asking these questions?
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Oh boy.
But
okay, let me know how that works out. Go ahead.
I got a question. So where would one start with getting knowledge in polygyny or any other relationships? Where would one start?
Well, I would always say I'm a great source. If you could get a consultation with me, it's well worth it. And this is about an investment, because I always say love is law, family is business, right? And people always compare it to pimping because people's closest reference to what I'm doing is pimping, because they don't understand no other reference. They don't understand historical references. They don't have no knowledge of any historical references, I should say. So that's what the human mind does. It associates or attaches whatever it doesn't understand to something that's close to it. And then they compare and contrast, and then they come to this wild conclusion in this particular case. Oh, he's pimping. No, pimping is a perversion of the lifestyle that I'm leading. This lifestyle isn't for everyone. So I have a tone called romantic polygamy or polygyny, and that's a very powerful tone that I came out with, that I will be coming back out with in the month of April as well. It's a very powerful tone, and that's a great source. So you go to brotherpolight.com and you'll be able to access that as well. And like I said, get a consultation, and I'll really walk you through it, because there's a lot of nuances to maintain a relationship with multiple women. There's a lot, and you don't want to go in there blindfolded. You don't want to go in there winging it. It's good to have somebody coach you. It's good to have someone that's well seasoned. Oftentimes, a lot of women get their advice from people that are already unhappy with their relationships. People that most likely don't even have relationships. People that still bear the stigma of the previous relationships, right? And this is where they're getting their opinions from about what you should do as a woman. So a lot of times women get their advice from people that are horrible sources of information, right? And so we have to protect ourselves from that energy and information as well, because we have a community between what they call Black and Spanish people. We're leading the world in divorces. We're leading the world in broken family households. But everyone in these communities has relationship advice. It's very weird. And so I know people feel like monogamy is the way, But if we look at this on a statistical level, most times we see statistics not in our favor would be the time we wouldn't be impelled to follow the same. What does this mean? If we see that over 75% of black women's relationships are leading to divorces, these are monogamous relationships, right? Normally, if we see a statistic like that, like if I say this, 75% of people that live in Brownsville will most likely, what the hell? Okay. 75% of people that live in Brownsville will most likely never have a high school education. Let's say I say that, right? Then we would not want to say, let's start moving into Brownsville. Let's make a mass exodus and start moving into Brownsville. Because, hey, after all, the likelihood of you even going past an education in high school is 75% to your disadvantage. So if I tell somebody you got a 75% rate of being robbed if you go into this neighborhood, let's do this. There's a 75% chance of you being robbed if you go into this neighborhood. What is the likelihood of people saying we should move in that neighborhood? Most likely people will say, let's go to any other neighborhood but that one, because there's a 75% chance if I go into this neighborhood, I'm going to get robbed. Now, let's go back. Black women, when it comes to monogamous relationships, black, Spanish, if there's a difference, right? When it comes to monogamous relationships, over 75% lead into divorce when they get married. So when I say I'm polygynous and people say, that can't work, I say 75% of your monogamous marriages are not working. So why are you still being raised to go in a direction where 75% of the chance you're going to fail? Normally, when you see a statistic working to your disadvantage, you don't go in the same direction. But ignorance, right, and emotion and illogic tells us, hey, I'm going to be the lucky one out of the 100%, the 25 that's left. I'm going to be the lucky one. But under any other circumstance, we would say, yo, if 75% of anything's not working to our advantage, we at least need to reevaluate our approach. But to do the same thing over and over and expect a change is insanity. So that's where we at. You got another question?
How long have you been practicing polygyny? How long have you come into this knowledge and started applying it in your life?
Been practicing polygyny a little past the time my daughter, my Hotep Batumre, was born. In fact, I got so much sauce. My first wife, we call my second wife my first wife because she's my first wife into polygyny, right? I got so much sauce. She came in while my first wife was conceiving. So picture doing some shit like that. Picture bringing in a new woman while your first woman is conceiving your child. Huh? That would just be volatility straight up and down. You think the stock market is volatile? That would be volatile, right? However, my first wife was in conformity with it, and the way that this works is your wives pick the next woman that comes. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that worked out. So I've been doing this. My daughter's 14 years old, so I've been doing this for probably about 14 years and 3 months, being polygynous like this.
Have you met other polygynous couples or polygynous men like yourself along this journey?
Yeah, I've met, not a lot, but I've met some polygynous couples, and I've met people who contended that they were polygynous, but it was too messy to, don't put that in my category. Then we're going to be in the 75% category. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to suck those statistics based on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't meet a lot of people, but I have met some people, and it's a vibe, and it's important to be able to network with people that are practicing the same lifestyle. But again, a lot of things that I do is uncanny. My approach towards black liberation is uncanny. My approach towards doing math is different. My approach towards investing is different. So my approach towards polygyny will contrast immensely to other people's approaches. A lot of people employed a great deal or integrated a great deal of religion when it comes to their model of polygyny. You know, mine's is more engendered around the principle of wealth stewardship, generational wealth, and making sure that the transgenerational curses that were imposed upon us, our children would never have to see in their lifetime. So it entailed a great deal of sacrifice, behalf of myself and the women that's involved, in order for our children to see the light of day.
You said sacrifice. What type of sacrifices?
You know, sacrifice like the dreams that they give you, the American dream, that doesn't work for black people. You know, we're poor, right? We meet each other in poverty, but we want to drive nice cars and have nice homes and everything. But shit is just a dream. Most of us will never get that, right? Because the dream don't come with the working tools and how to manifest the dream. The shit just comes with the dream, right? No batteries included, right? So we had to find out the batteries. Part of the batteries is to make the sacrifice. While our friends was partying and doing their thing, we was over here studying. The sacrifice was all my wives, 4 wives, we sleeping on the floor. You get what I'm saying? And only the children have furniture. Our furniture was the laptop that we bought, the shirt, the heat transfer paper, the shirt machines that we bought, the button machines that we bought, until we figured out what we got to do, the software we was buying, the Photoshop suites, the tutorials. Like, the sacrifice we made was to keep studying and being diligent in our pursuit to acquire more, to amass wealth. And the conviction that in due time, the vision that I had, if we all work together, it will work out. Despite the criticisms from people's mothers, despite the criticisms from people's friends and family. You know, I'm a dude in Brooklyn with the women sleeping on the floor. And the mothers is coming like, yo, why you sleeping on the floor? And what kind of cult shit is this? And they like, you know, Brother Polight says, I'm like, yo, please don't start your sentences off with Brother Polight when you talk to your mother. This shit do sound cultish. You know, Brother Polight says he has his vision, right? And we don't need furniture in the projects, because why would we dress up a low-income community apartment when we could save that money? And when we do buy furniture, it could be in an apartment or a home more befitting to our taste and our criteria. Because Brother Polight said we're royalty, and we'll have our day in due time. If we make the sacrifice now, we'll make it happen later. And we'll have our abundance, but we'll never see it if every time we get some money, we overcompensate by getting a big-ass TV in a roach-infested environment. So no, we didn't have TVs, we didn't have furniture, we made sacrifices. And we pooled our funds together with the belief that provided we execute properly and we stick to our timetable, that one day it would amount to something and we'll all have our own. So today, all my wives have their own. All of them have their own cars, have their own homes. You know, they have their own income, separate and different from me. They're not economic slaves of me. They don't have to rely on me for no money. And it's a blessing. They stood in there and they 10 toes down. And you know what? A lot of what their parents were saying was true. Because I certainly wouldn't want my daughter to be with someone like me at that level, sleeping on the floor. I wouldn't want my daughter to sleep on the floor with her man. But you see, I'm in a different situation. You know, because I can provide. Stop it. Full tech.
Daniel Tech.
Yeah, got it. You got it? So I certainly wouldn't want my daughter to sleep on the floor with her man, to come up with other women and everything like that. But it wouldn't even be the other women. It'd just be you sleeping on the floor. Then they can't provide, right? But you got to remember this. The parents couldn't provide themselves either. So it's a different scenario. If I'm a parent and I'm not providing for my child, and my child got to get on the grind, it's none of my damn business, because I create a situation where my child is grinding like that because I ain't grinding hard enough. That's how my world looks. But the situation I'm in right now, we bust our ass. So another generation won't have to bust their ass the way we did. So I don't expect my daughter, because people always say, you want your daughter to go through what you went through. Nah, that's the whole science. You don't want your child to go through the strife that you went through. As far as polygyny, some people say, yo, how would you feel if your daughter was in a polygynous relationship? I have no problem with that. I'm not looking to be in a relationship with my daughter. So that's none of my business. My job is to make sure I give my children the educational tools and resources so I can have enough conviction and full faith that they can discern for themselves what is suffice to do and what's best for them in their adult age. So until my children are adults, it's my responsibility to give them that math, that science, that history, the knowledge of self and kind. That's my responsibility. My responsibility is not to sit here praying on the demise of the man that intends to be in their life and destroying their relationship or fit. Now, I'm not a boyfriend to none of my daughters. So none of that's my business. My business is the edification of my children. And if I do right in educating them, I should be able to rest assured whatever decisions that they made, they at least made the decisions that they wanted to do. That's my responsibility. So even if my children make decisions that I don't agree with, I'm okay with it so long as I can be proud of the fact that I believe that my children are doing what they actually want to do. My job is to make sure they have a mind of their own. So what they choose to do in their life is part of what life is called. Your life is your responsibility. Hence the term responsibility, their ability to respond to adversity, their ability to respond to new situations and occurrences. So that's not my preoccupation. So a lot of times people's preoccupation is, but would you want your daughter this? Would you want your daughter that? I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even look at my daughter in that way. And I know people think I'm going to extremes, but honestly, I feel like a lot of guys, they take on almost a boyfriend, jealous boyfriend role when it comes to their daughters. I don't see it that way. I see it as none of my business. My daughter's an adult. I would only worry if I felt like I didn't educate my daughter enough. So by the time she's in adulthood, she probably still don't know what the hell she's doing. I would feel like that. But if I feel like I gave her the game, I gave her the knowledge, I demonstrated what manhood was about as a man myself. I showed her how to have a successful relationship through her eyes with her moms. If I accomplish that, if she chooses to do whatever, you ain't going to hold me accountable for any of her sins. And we ain't going to discredit her for what she does right because I did great. We're going to give her all her props. Because in adulthood is fair game. You know what I'm saying? So the sacrifices is the things we chose to do in our younger age that people our age wasn't willing to do. You know, the sacrifice was, I could have been running around single bachelor just, you know, poking this woman, poking that woman. I made the sacrifice to be disciplined at a young age. My women, they took the sacrifice and said, you know what? You a man with a plan, and we don't see too much men with a plan. We can play ourselves and yo, fuck him no matter how smart he is and what kind of vision he has and everything. I just don't like sharing, man. Boom, they go their direction, right? You wind up with 2-3 baby daddies along the way, and you still feel happy about what you did. It happens. You know what I'm saying? All the while, these sisters made a sacrifice because it's a form of sacrifice. They sacrificed the emotions that they learned to have as women from unsuccessful women, their aunts and their sisters, and because I mean everybody has broken family households. Nobody's really with anybody. This is just true. And everyone has an opinion. I'm like, yo, you guys are not successful with all these opinions. So we all made sacrifices and it worked out. You know, love is law, family is business. And anytime you indulge in business, you have to make an investment. And every investment entails some form of risk. So they could have took a risk. They took the risk of, what if I was a bullshit artist? And they got to be wise enough to get up out of it. But you got to understand what's at stake. If you ain't got no bread and I ain't got no bread, this is one form of a reason to engage in polygyny. There's reasons to do it. Like if a man just honestly says, yo, I like to be with multiple women. That's his sexual preference. And if we got to respect homosexuals, you got to respect a man's sexual preference when he says, I want to be with multiple women. Because women will turn around and do this. So can your women have a man? I'm like, that's not even what we talking about. We talking about me having multiple women. Yo, I don't have the right to tell a woman she can't have multiple men. Go and do your goddamn thing. I mean, if Cardi B likes you, she hope you a twin, and she'll have a menage with you, right? Everybody's okay with that. Don't nobody say, well, can a man fuck some twins too? No one says that. You know what I'm saying? So why do people always ask me, can they? I don't run people like this. I don't control the women. And this relationship is called polygyny. So this is when the women don't want to deal with other men and they don't mind sharing the man. It's called polygyny. If someone's in a monogamous relationship, right? You come in with your girl. and you say, this is my wife, my only wife, my boo, we're in monogamy. And then I go to her and I say, so he can't have another woman. That shouldn't be disrespectful, wouldn't it? If I go to him in front of his wife and I say, yo, I'm saying though, she's not allowed to have another man. People will be like, yo, what the fuck is that, right? But in my world, they disrespect me. Yo, the women can't have another man? Yo, it's called polygyny, which means the women are okay with sharing a man. They're not okay with having multiple men themselves. So don't come in my world and ask me these goofy ass questions, because it would be wrong if I did it to you. I couldn't see you and your wife together and your wife's next to you and I say, yo, bro, she can't get another man. You just keep her like that? She gotta just only be with you. What if I come in from my world and I import this crazy shit? You'd be like, yo, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of disrespectful shit is that? So women always do that. They always do that. They always go, but yo, so they should also know is you forgetting the fact that the women have a say. So this concept that, oh, I'm controlling these women and making them not want to have another man. Did anyone give the women enough credit to say maybe these women don't want another man and maybe they don't mind sharing this guy because they feel like this guy is worth it? That's the furthest thing in people's, no, the women are hypnotized. Blink twice if you're in trouble. It's all this bullshit that goes on. But no one would like to give the women credit and say maybe women are doing things that they want to do too. Because it's not good for you doesn't mean it's not good for another woman. It's okay if this is not for you. I'm not petitioning to people for this to be good for them. It's okay. It happens. It may not be a cup of tea. I wish you the best, and I hope your family isn't broken, and I mean that sincerely. Because you can be successful in monogamy. I'm just not the monogamous type. And I have the right to my sexual preference. Just like we have to respect gay people and transgender and lesbians and queers. And I mean, there's so many damn letters in the alphabet appropriated to these brothers and sisters and people, right? I'm just saying we got to respect everybody down the damn alphabet until the letter P comes. When it becomes polygyny, then it's like, oh, no, everybody could disrespect my shit. And there's no hate crime and no multiple women phobia, whatever, like this homophobia, like what they call this polyphobia, like you motherfuckers out there got polyphobia, maybe I need to be added into the LGBTQP. Maybe we need rights for polygynous people, right? And stop disrespecting us, because this is a sexual preference. And you got fucking pedophiles petitioning to have the right to be with children proudly. And they're getting more respect than a motherfucker here who's just like, yo, listen, I just personally want to be with multiple women, and that should be respected. Because everybody else down the alphabet is being respected. So when we get to letter P, let's make some concessions for people that's being honest, because what I could have done is been just lying to the women, and then they can find out what I really feel when they catch me cheating. Could have did it that way. This is the way we traditionally do it as men. I want other women. No, you can't have other women. Okay, let's pretend it's not a feeling that or a sensation that this man has, and then boom, you find out the hard way. It can go that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's good to be honest, because if you're honest, you can be a complete idiot. There's people who love idiots on planet Earth. That's the one thing about this planet. There's somebody for everybody. There's several people for everybody. There's a bunch of people waiting to fuck with you, even if you are slow, you're dumb, if you're fat. Like, there's people who just love fat people. Like, there's people for you. Don't quit on yourself. There's several bodies that love you and would deal with you, right? But then you got those people that are so unique and valued that it's like, damn, I definitely want to be with that person right there. And so sometimes there's a person that several women wouldn't mind saying, yo, he's providing for everyone. He's showing love. He's giving embrace, and he's doing the right thing. And because the caliber and quality of man that's out here today, they don't bear that particular personality type coupled with whatever that woman's attracted to, in addition to any of a number of factors. why should she be clowned, ridiculed, mocked, or disrespected? Because she conceives that this is the guy I'm going to deal with, despite the fact he may be with somebody else. It happens. You know, stop disrespecting me. And the weirdest people are the guys. The guys that be going out their way, going crazy against me. I'm like, yo, this some real weird shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm living the African dream. Fuck the American dream. I'm living the African dream, goddammit. Because I'm in America, getting it in. With the hardest people to do this with. The non-religious African American woman. And the wildest fuck Puerto Rican and Dominican. These are like the worst combinations of people to do anything with in terms of emotion. Because they love hard. Right? And if you have any success, even for 48 hours, you're probably a goddamn genius. These are all facts. I take the next question before we close out here.
All right.
Word up.
So, as we end, just this last question. With polygyny, why would one start practicing? What would be beneficial to one practicing in this day and age?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question. It's a loaded question. It all depends on your working model. And this is what I say quite often, you know. I don't know what drives other people. I'm driven because I love money. You know, here we have on the table about $150,000 or a little more. You know, I love money. And because I love money, it's a great strategy. And I love women. I'll tell you two things I love, and I see, what if I can make money with my women? Not make money off my women. Because the way that my polygyny model works is that you're supposed to empower the women to have enough money to leave you if they choose. So if they stay, you know they stay with you, and it transcends anything superficial. And so the whole impetus for working as a collective is to see to it that she can leave you and be free without you. That's the paradox. Now I take the two things I love the most in this world, and that's money and it's women. And I empower the women with one of the things I love most, so she can leave me. And if she doesn't, then I know she definitely wants to stay. And that's so I don't, now that's not going to be everyone's reason to be polygynous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you say, yo, how could it benefit people? It benefits me in this way. You know, because I love the energy of women. I love being around women. I love pleasing women. I love doing everything I can to add so much value to a woman's life, to know that when I see her do her thing, I can say, yo, I contributed to that. Whether she's with me or without me. I can say when I came into her world, she has way more than she had prior to meeting me. Whether she stays with me or she goes away. But what I can say is I wasn't selfish. I did everything in my power to make sure she was empowered. So when it comes time for her decision-making process, one of those things won't be, damn, how do I leave? Because I got nothing. I cut my friends off. I cut my family off. I cut my income off. That's not going to be me. It's going to be, yo, you can leave any day of the week. You got the bag. I've empowered you. You might have more money than me, shit. And no matter how much that could hurt me as a man, it's my responsibility to create that kind of opportunity. Because that's what relationships are supposed to be about. It's supposed to be reciprocity. And this idea that people shouldn't be using people is a lie. We're supposed to be able to use each other. I'm with every woman so I can use her for what I can get out of her, and she should be able to use me for what she can get out of me. It's nonsense when people say, yo, they're only with you for money. It's a lie, but, you know, my women slept on the floor with me. But anyway, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with someone being with you because they see an opportunity? How about we start picking people who definitely can't give us opportunity? How smart does that sound? You know what I'm saying? So they were like, you're using the knowledge you get women, and they're only with you for money. And I go, oh, okay. So let me get this straight. Women shouldn't go after people who have knowledge and money. So in other words, they should find the dumbest nigga they can find that has no money. I mean, what kind of children we gonna produce under these circumstances? So I know who's complaining. Those are the broke dumb niggas. Those are the ones that's making those claims. Because it's a very convenient argument. Because if the women don't want to be around people who have knowledge and money, then there's going to be a plethora of women that's going to be making themselves available to the useless Negro. So I'm supposed to feel bad because I'm in a position of power. No. Men should commission themselves to be in positions of power so they can have that much access to women, and then they should have the discipline to pick the most quality women. Not any woman. So it works both ways. And when you get the blessing to entertain any woman of any kind, you should remain disciplined so she can look at you and go, wow. Because every other guy, he bend and he fold. But you wouldn't let me get my way with all that shit. And you encouraged me to do better, and you wasn't afraid to criticize me where other people were. You know, so polygyny is great for me. Because on a metaphysical level, I just understand what a woman's esteem does for you as a man when she believes in you. When a woman believes in you, it's like, you go out there, you know these niggas gonna kick your ass. But if she believes that you a gangster, you gonna go out there and you gonna get your shit kicked, and it's gonna be all worth it. That's the power of a fucking woman. And you might even win that shit, because she gives you the conviction that you can't. I understand what it means for a woman to support you at the highest level. That support that a woman gives me access to the thing that I love the most. This money. If people say you ain't supposed to love money, but fat girls can love cake though, and no one's mad. Fat girls can love cake all the time, and no one says cake is of the devil. No one says cake is not God. No one ever says, but you can't take that cake to heaven with you. No one says it. She eats cake all the fucking time. She says she loves it. No one gets mad. If she can love cake, I can love money. I love your shoes. I love your dress. I love your style. I love that car. I love that perfume. But I can't love money. It becomes sacrilegious. It becomes a sin. But all those things are acquired with the money. So why can't I go to the source? You give me a Jesus, I'm going straight to the source. So we can use polygyny at the lowest level of economics to pool our funds. Because if there's love involved and everyone's centering their love and their attention and their energy, a lot can be accomplished. It could be a transpersonal or transcendental experience. But it's not the only way to come out of poverty. It's just one way. It's a dope approach. It's not the only way. You don't need polygyny exclusively to come out of poverty. It's just a very good shortcut to get out of poverty if everyone is poor. It's one way. Another thing is to deal with the disproportionate ratio between men and women. And then looking at prison incarceration. And then looking at the homicidal rate. The fratricide that we go through. The homosexuality. The lesbianism. And then, the shit gets so disproportionate. Starts making even more sense for several women to be with one man. And then let's just say some people are just too ignorant to be making children with in the first place. We can add that to the list. So that's another reason you may want to deal with polygyny. But ultimately, I never really want to sell people on the idea, because without the right discipline, we already have enough bastardized individuals in the community. We already have enough fatherless children in the community as it is. I wouldn't want to encourage the behavior. Because this is for serious people who have serious ambitions and serious goals to turn this thing around. We're looking to create a whole village of people, homeschooled, properly educated, inheriting wealth and knowing how to perpetuate the wealth that they inherit. So in years to come, our people will be on the official rise. So there's a cultural paradigm that we're making subscriptions to when we deal with polygyny as well. But that's just me in my mind. That may not be people's incentive. I got a black nationalistic perspective of why polygyny can work. Because it's a generational plan that I'm interested in. There's generational wealth that I'm interested in. There's the fact that I'm a king and ain't no one gonna tell me different. I'm royalty and I deserve the right to have multiple women. No one can tell me any different. I'm not gonna accept it. It's in my genes, it's in my blood. That's just how I feel. I got the right. I'm due that. I give and I contribute. I amass wealth and I share my abundance. So what I get in return from this universe is lots of money and women. And ain't no one gonna tell me any different. That's who I am. You heard? Like, that's just who I am. I'm a fucking king. I'm a king, and the black woman is my God. And I'll do whatever I gotta do for that black woman, because I appreciate her energy, I appreciate her esteem, I appreciate her support, because there's nothing like a black woman's support. Nothing like it. So I just multiply the support so I can be great. And in turn, they make me great, I make sure they're great. Reciprocity. It's mutually beneficial. Black woman is my God. So that's just a vibe. So like I said, I have multiple reasons why polygyny is great for me. I just don't understand what people be thinking about and what their goals are. But hopefully, this undertaking, this video, may open up some corridors in people's consciousness, and maybe they find some appreciation and some understanding. Because I'm not here for someone to mock and ridicule me. Oh, so because you're a black nationalist, you got to be polygynous. This ain't something that I'm looking to defend. This is something that I am. You see what I'm saying? So I tell someone I'm vegan, they say, yo, it must take a lot of discipline. I get offended. You know why I get offended by that? Because it may take discipline to do something when you first start. If you've been doing something for 10 years or 20 years, right? Does it take discipline after 10, 20 years? Now you're calling me stupid. I should be beyond discipline at this point. Yo, you get all those women, how do you not just make babies with this one and that one and have a bunch of child support? It must take discipline. I've been dealing with multiple women for quite some time. So at this point, I'm beyond discipline. It's just who I am at this point. There's no struggle or fight for me to resist my lower nature. I've already subdued my passions a long time ago. Because I've been doing this for so long, it's no longer a matter of discipline. It's second nature. It's only a matter of discipline when you have more with yourself. I'm beyond the discipline stage in my life. I'm 37 years old. I've had at least 4 women for at least 12 and a half years. I've been with at least 2 at the same time for 14 years. And I've been with my first wife for 23 years. I'm consistent. And one thing a woman is never going to say, if she was with me and she took an absence of leave, she's going to speak ill on my name. She's going to say that man added value. Shit, you know, I'll post a married Foxy Brown. And as people say all sorts of, yo, she's wild, she off the hook, she this, that, and the third. That woman ain't going to speak ill on my name. And I'm going to tell you, she's an amazing woman. Powerful woman. We went our ways, we still love each other. Speaking with her just yesterday, actually. And we don't learn how to get together, and we damn sure don't know how to break apart. That's part of what we got to learn in the community. We got to learn under what pretense do we get together, and we got to learn how to, in a healthy fashion, separate. See, that's wisdom. If we learn how to separate, we could stop all the toxicity in the black community. We could stop this gender-specific war that's taking place where the men look at the women in disdain and the women don't trust the men, but then everyone's still having sex with each other. That's some wicked shit going on in our community. It's because we don't learn how to separate. We got to learn how to separate in a healthy fashion. We learn how to separate, yeah. We got to understand the protocols, the do's and the don'ts to separation. Not airing each other out and talking crazy. But that has to be instilled in the beginning of the relationship. So first thing you do when you start a relationship is start teaching each other how to separate. I know it sounds crazy. You have to learn decorum. What do we do when confronted with adversity? How do we teach each other to respond properly? So in the worst circumstances, we never misrepresent ourselves or each other before the world. These are things that have to be learned at the inception of a relationship. But man, polygyny teach you a lot of discipline, man. Talk to me nice, but like, peace.